Howdy. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments section of the video. Subscribe if you feel like it or don't. Like it if you feel like it or don't. Well, yeah, this is live stream and we're just gonna be big playing Chivalry 2. If you want, I can end the live stream that I'm currently doing on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch and put it through the TV. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna be big streaming on here. Doing my thing, answering questions about EFILism, primordialism, utilitarianism, all that good shit. Oh, I tried. Yeah, if you don't think I should push the button, tell me why, guys. Like, please. I would push the button. If I was in a nuclear submarine back in the day, I'm angry at that boy for not pushing the button. No, I'm kidding. He wouldn't have ended the whole world. Hence why I'm glad he didn't push the button. But still, nonetheless, we should push the big button of death. We should. Max, if you're seeing this somehow, come on, get on Chivalry, bro. What the fuck you doing, man? You could be playing Chivalry with me. Just kidding. But still, could be. Yo yo, what's poppin' unless it's TwitchBot? It's TwitchBot. What's poppin', TwitchBot? Oh, just monitoring a video. I do be. Hello, Snake Charmer. How's it going? How did you stumble across this channel? Might I ask. Are you an antinatalist or EFIList, or is it just kind of a random channel you stumbled across, or you from the bug crushing gang? All things completely understandable. Why am I so hot and handsome? Because I'm a vegan, that's why. If you were a vegan, you'd also be hot and handsome. If you aren't already. Just kidding. It's because I have good genetics and also I'm a vegan. It's a mix of both. But and by good genetics, I mean good genetics in the look department. In the mental health department, I'm a complete psycho. Ew. Do I work out? No, but I work a manual labor job at the moment. I work for Coca-Cola, and I also just got hired yesterday at a second job. So that one's gonna be more of a desk job though, where I just do like call center stuff and like scheduling. Howdy, how's it going, Enemy Emerge Destroyer? If you want, you can click the link join and you can talk. Otherwise, you can always just talk in the comments section and I'll respond in due time. Your English is bad, not your mother language. No, that's fair. There's a lot of people that speak multiple languages. It's a very talented thing that I cannot do. I'm I'm not bilingual, I'm not trilingual. I speak one language, English. I've tried to learn Spanish and I'm horrible at it. Yeah, I'm American. I'm very much the stereotypical American, besides the fact that I'm a philosopher and I'm a socialist. So, besides the fact that I'm very much anti-democratic, I'm very much the average American in terms of the stereotype of our lack of knowledge in terms of world geography and world political events and stuff. Like, I don't know shit for shit. But at least I'll admit I don't know shit for shit. A lot of Americans are like, oh, yeah, of course, that's Kenya. And then they're like pointing at like fucking Madagascar. You seem like a Trump supporter. What the fuck? No, of course I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm literally a Green Party member. I've been vegan for about 6 months. Well, no, I've been vegan for about 7 months now. Vegan for almost 7 months, and I'm a Green Party supporter, and I've voted only Green and Democratic, basically. A left liberal. I'm more of social democrat, so is technically what I am. Libertarian left social democrat. Basically think we should be able to do it what we want as long as it doesn't hurt other people. Too bad most things hurt other people. So I'm a little bit authoritarian in nature because I think like the government should have a lot of power. Uh, so I'm a little bit more less liberal and more authoritarian left, but kind of at the same time, like libertarian. I basically think we should be allowed to do anything that doesn't hurt other people. So if you want to hurt yourself, go for it. Smoke weed, commit suicide, do whatever the fuck you want. But when it comes down to like anything that involves like exploitation of others, I'm kind of just like, aka the economy. I'm kind of just like, no, that's not cool. So, you do know that voting is rigged. I believe in lizard people, so that's all I'm gonna say to that one. But yeah, there was Pete Buttigieg had his like fucking voting machine and shit. So you're not exactly disagreeing with you, but voting's still valid in most cases. So I'm not gonna take that shit from lizard person man. But vote at least not vote proper explanation. If you give me explanation, then sure. But if you're just gonna be like voting is rigged, don't vote. I'm just gonna look at you like, well, please give me a reason. What do you think about Black Americans? Because I hear so many Black Americans in America acting like so aggressive and racist. I think Black Americans have unfortunate past of being redlined, and statistically, if you're impoverished, you're gonna be more likely to have in-group, out-group mentalities, and or prone to crime because you have to survive in impoverished lifestyles, which is all fault of white people because of redlining. So I don't think it has anything to do with race, but when it comes down to it, there is like a lot of poverty in America, in the African American communities, Black communities, whatever word you want to use. Um, I've met plenty of people who are black who are really intellectual and were philosophy majors as well and stuff, far better than I am at like Spanish. So, they're far more academically successful than I am and just as intelligible. And there's plenty of antinatalist black people who are in America. So it's just kind of like I can't really say there's anything wrong with them in any way. I think it's just a stereotype that they're violent, and or stupid, or all those things you hear about Black Americans if you're from a different country. I imagine you're European. It's all just stereotypical nonsense. It's just bullshit that you're hearing. This is my parents' house. I look Greek. I'm not Greek, I don't think. Maybe I am. I don't know. I have like some German. I have like some like Polish, some Prussian, native Canadian. I don't know what else. Like fucking. I don't know, man. I just have a bunch of random ass European shit and like some random Native American from, well, native Canadian, so like native people from Canada. In me a little bit. You were a man. Why are you living with your family? Well, I lived alone for 2 years. Now I'm living with my family again because it's cheaper, and I have so why not? But yeah, pretty much that. It's cheaper, so why not? If they're willing to house me, I'm willing to live here. Um, I have a job and stuff. I can afford to live on my own if I really wanted to. I could live with other people. I have plenty of friends I could live with. I just also have the option to live with my parents, so why would I not, save the money? Especially given that I give like 20% of my money to charity and I like to work in very minimal hours. So, do you have a girlfriend? No, I haven't had a girlfriend in like 7 years, my dude. It's been like a long ass time since I've had a girlfriend. That being said, my last girlfriend was a solid like 8 out of 10. Like, she was fine as fuck, my dude. And I tapped that like a couple years ago, even though we weren't dating at the time. She just wanted to come back for seconds. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, yeah, no. I mean, I haven't dated anybody in like 7, nearly 8 years or some shit. It's been a while. Don't really care for it. Would do it. Have been on dating sites. Am on dating sites. Is it really gonna ever happen? No, probably not. But hey, now I've switched the game. I've switched the game plan in the recent weeks. In the past, I was just going for a relationship and casual. Now I'm just like, fuck this shit. I have a vasectomy now. I'm just switching it up. I'm just playing my profile. I'm looking for something casual. Just looking for sex, basically. And see if any hoes are out there looking to get around with a man who can't get them preggers. So that's basically my end goal right now is just casual sex. Cause why not? I mean, I don't believe in love any. I mean, I do believe in love, but when it comes down to it, the only person I've ever loved killed themselves. So heyo. When G, you have ever had sex for 7 years? You're free. No, I've had sex once, and like 3 years ago. But like I have been single for 7 years, so I haven't been in a relationship for 7 years. Semen retention, I think it's not supported by any evidence that it has any benefits. At least not that I know of. So I don't think there's any benefits to semen retention. I mean, I'm just as opinionated and angry and aggravated and, a little cunt as anybody else and have tonation. And I am a fucking coomer, my dude. Not really, but like I am. 3 years? Yeah, I haven't had sex in 3 years, my dude. It's been like January 2020 or some shit like that. Like, it's been like a fucking long time. Like, not that I really care though. It's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, could I getting? How do you endure? Because I'm a stoic. I'm basically like a Buddhist monk. But I think desires are all unnecessary. It's all just a waste. You should try to eliminate them if you can. Uh, I'm pretty good at eliminating most desires. Considering I have homicidal ideation, that's kind of what one of the topics on this channel. I've had a strong many years of, just avoiding doing desires that are quite heinous in terms of the law. Not from promortalism. So a philosophical view, it's just like, I'll be doing people a favor. But when it comes to the law, I am a handsome dude, I think, I guess. I think I am, but I also have narcissism, so who knows? But the women don't think so, I guess. Heyo. You need to find someone for sex. Yeah, I found this really attractive lady who started flirting with me a couple weeks ago when I was hanging out at the mall, getting some a video game, Horizon. What's it called? Horizon Forbidden West. And basically, the GameStop was like closed for break because everybody was on lunch, and I was like, "Oh, you fuckers! Of course you're gonna go on lunch when I'm here." And when I was just big chilling, one lady in the mall was just like, "Yo, stop over here and like check out my stall and stuff," and she started flirting me up. And low key, she kind of wants to have casual sex with me. But at the same time, she's also works fucking 10 hours a day, 5 days or 6 days a week or some shit like that. So it's kind of just like she doesn't have any time. And I frankly don't really care to, try to work that out. So it's not going anywhere. And it's life. I'm just gonna remain single, bro. I'm just gonna remain single. I'm just gonna remain like having a chastity belt, bro. Stop acting like a nerd. It's impossible, man. I play D&D twice a week. Possibly, I'm gonna start DMing a group pretty soon. There's plenty of people that I hang out with, plenty of attractive women that I'd fuck if I could. But when it comes down to it, nah, they don't really want that. So it's just kind of like, hey, I guess I'll just remain getting cuckolded by life, I guess. So could I not be a nerd? Sure, but then I wouldn't be being myself. Would that be beneficial for getting laid? Sure, but when it comes down to it, getting laid is kind of just a distraction from the real purpose of life, which is to prevent suffering, which is what this channel is also about. So, if you want to prevent suffering, getting pussy is good for yourself, but it's not the hunt's not good for anybody else. I'm giving you a brotherly advice. Quit veganism, go raw primal, and quit smoking before you destroy your health. I don't care about my health. I'm a pro-mortalist, okay? Home slice. Um, when it comes down to it, I'm not gonna quit veganism because I care about. Uh, if I really cared about myself as an egoist, I'd put a lead bullet into my own skull and I'd die. But I don't, so I'm gonna care about the suffering of other people before I care about my own, and I'm gonna make the sacrifice of being a vegan and also all that stuff. What is your YouTube channel? It's the same thing, but just a dash. Anti-dash social EFIList. I can put up the banner. It looks like this. Anti-social leftist brand. Pro-mortalism. Who is commenting? Someone commented something that I can't really tell. Pro-mortalism is the idea that it is better off to die sooner rather than later. That mortality is a good thing, essentially. That is basically the idea of pro-mortalism. There's many reasons to be a promortalist. Basically, almost every single ethical theory leads into promortalism if you take ethics seriously. Um, even deontology kind of leads to like weird conundrums where you kind of have like deontology leads to weird, really weird conundrums. Deontology is just stupid. If you don't know what deontology is, I can talk about that also, no problem. But promortalism is just the idea that, yeah, it's a good thing to die as soon as you can. Epicureanism is the idea that death isn't bad for the one who dies. Very similar, very similar. Promortalism is just the idea that like taking the L is good as soon as it can occur. If you can take the L, you have to take the L, basically. from an egoist perspective. Remember that. I'm a primordialist from an egoist perspective, meaning if you're just focusing on myself and the concerns of me, it would be a good thing for me to die, and it would be a good thing for you to die, and so on and so forth. But I'm what's called a negative utilitarian, meaning I consider the whole, not just myself. I consider everybody. It's not a single player game. This thing we call life, you know. So basically, if I were to exit, it just prevents my own suffering, but if I stick around and try to convince people not to have kids, not to procreate, all that good stuff, I can prevent far more suffering than if I were to just delete myself. So basically, I think on a purely individualistic level, everybody is a should be a pro-mortalist, and if they're being logical, it is going to become one. But when it comes down to it, I don't think everybody ought to kill themselves because we can stick around to, make the world a better place, so to speak. I have no clue who is commenting this, so it could be like literally anybody in my friends group. It could be a random person from the Facebook group. Where is my phone? Yo yo, what's poppin', Seb?
Hey,
Howdy.
I'm feeling alright, and I noticed that I'm able to have this text below the name.
Yeah.
I didn't. That wasn't an option previously, so I wanted to try it.
Oh yeah, I have a paid version, so you can do that on my channel.
Oh yeah, so one can only do it for those of the paid version. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Basically, if you have the unpaid version, you get like a 20 or 30 hours, maybe 40 worth of stream time. But once you go and hit that amount, you can no longer stream for free. And then there's a version where you can get unlimited streaming, and that's the one I have. And there's a couple other features which allows you to have that little banner you can see in the corner with my profile picture for YouTube, and you can have like the little name banner as well. I can stick mine. I think I have mine up, don't I? Yeah, I do. Yeah, if I click that, it'll make them go away. But if I put this, it'll make them pop up. Usually I keep them off, but if you'd like them on, I'll keep them on. Because actually, if you have two people, it actually fits really nice with the names. With one person, it kind of here I'll show you. Um, with one person, the it kind of overlaps with the neon or neon. I don't know how you pronounce that word, neon, neon.
I don't know, but neon. I
Yeah,
think.
neon. Yeah, basically it overlaps with the neon, so I don't usually have the name banner there. But with two people in the chat, it allows me to have it like that. Let me see, what does it look like if I do this? Oh yeah, not that. There we go.
I was there was There was I heard there was some Coom talk on earlier, and that reminded me of something. So natalists they will use everything against the antinatalists. Like I got a comment from one of my videos. Someone assumed that I haven't had had Coom or something like that. Just just assuming that, and uh, and that's strange because that is like a natalist who has never met me once or that knows me at all, so I find it a bit strange.
Hmm.
I got a comment on one of the videos where I had that music to shield to slash blow up the earth to. So
Oh
guess
yeah.
since I was an anime girl, they must have thought I was a virgin or something.
Yeah, people assume that I'm a virgin very much, and I'm like, I'm not technically a virgin. And the girl that took my virginity, she's like, damn fine. But by like everybody's standards, because I'm a psychopath, so I have high standards. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not a virgin, but you may as well consider me one. I mean, like, I've only had sex once, so it's not like exactly like I get laid or have high charisma. So you may as well consider me a virgin, but at the same time, technically not a virgin, guys. I'm a Chad. No, I'm kidding. I'm not Chad. But yeah, we were talking about random shit earlier in the chat. You were in a Perpetual Pleasure stream for a little bit, right?
No.
Oh no, he was streaming a little bit earlier today.
If I was, I might have one of those complete lapses in memory, but I don't think I had one of those since I wasn't in Perpetual Pleasurists stream.
Fair enough, fair enough. I got
I,
you.
um, I saw he went live. I assumed it was a video. I didn't know it was a stream.
Yeah, he went live about a couple hours ago and was live for a good 2 hours.
Could people join, or was it only him talking?
People could join. It was him, Femiurge, Destroyer, and two other people.
Never heard of those.
Yeah, Femiurge Destroyer is also a Gnostic, though he has a little bit more conspiratorial views, in my opinion, and is a little bit more anti-woman. But other than that, he is Gnostic and antinatalist, so he's kind of like an ally of sorts, though I kind of find his views a little bit cringeworthy in some departments. But, other than that, he was a pretty chill dude and was, yeah, on talking. And then there's a few other people. And I was briefly on there talking about EFILism and my concerns with their ideas of the Femiurge and stuff like that. And yeah, it's brief but interesting, my appearance, I guess.
That's nice that he also had streams like that he's starting to have streams too.
Yeah. Yeah, my boy Scott, he is a good channel. He has a lot more viewers also. He had like 15 people watching him, so it's always nice to get on Scott's channel. One, for views, because I'm a little view whore, and two, uh, you know, he has interesting stuff he likes to talk about, and him being able to live stream and have people come on this channel and question him regarding the demarriage and marriage is cool. A lot of people don't do that. They don't have people come on their channel and stuff. So respect that he does.
Yeah, if I knew it was an actual stream, I would have popped on.
What was the first book you read related to philosophy? Good question. I don't know. I guess other than I don't know, like maybe like The Alchemist. That's like a children's book that's like philosophically related, I guess. Um, don't really know what the first book that I would have read that's philosophically related. First book that I've seriously read that's philosophical and not required for school would probably be Magnus Finding's Suffering Focused Ethics. Didn't read it all the way through, but read all the important parts. Uh, and yeah, which is like the first half. The second half is more just an instruction on how to go about negative utilitarianism properly, which I already kind of know how to do that. So, well, I couldn't get past page 2 of Alchemist. That's fair.
You might be actually better than Magnus Winding at. Magnus Winding even have a YouTube channel?
No, but he has some recordings you can see Magnus Finding in.
He
Like he's
actually has a YouTube channel, but only one video.
yeah. You can see him on like a couple of podcasts. He has some interviews. He's actually one of the only guests on the Antinatalism podcast to interview Amendum, and it's actually really interesting. I mean, I love Gary and I love Magnus Vinding. They're both really good guys. Unfortunately, Gary's such a angry old man. He's such a prick that he was just being so mean to to Magnus the whole entire episode. It was just embarrassing to watch. Actually, like watching kind of made me cringe because it made me feel like bad for the image of EFILism. But at the same time, I was like, he was making good points. Okay, Gary was making some really good points, but at the same time, he was also being a way too aggressive. But I love Megus's channel. You should definitely read Suffering Focused Ethics. It's a really good book if you ever get the chance. And it's free and it's on his website. So
So it's what is it, magnuswinding.com?
yeah, I think so. If you just type in Magnus Vinding on Google or like wherever, it'll pop up Magnus Vinding, and I think it's .com. But
Yeah, I guess I should read that.
yeah, if you want, I just read the first half of the book, first 3/4, so which is about negative utilitarianism basically, and like suffering focused ethics, and then the second half is about how to engage in suffering focused practice like reduction practices. But I mean, that's pretty much gonna be like stuff he talks about a lot of times in his like podcasts, like get involved in activism and donating to charity and like thinking about futuristic stuff that like we should prevent and campaigning against a lot of things like AI and like all that stuff I already know. So I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm more interested in like the hard ethics, and I can draw conclusions from the hard ethics once I get the understanding of that. So
It seems like you might be better at Magnus Winding at the second part of the chapter, like how to go about it. Since yeah, he has his own channel, but there's only one video. But it's important to also have a web presence. Like I personally think websites are overrated.
oh,
Everyone's
100%.
personal
Yeah.
websites. Like like if one has a YouTube channel, YouTube is one of the most used websites in the world. So if one has a YouTube channel, it invites people to go on one's channel, but who's ever going to type in magnuswinding.com? That's the
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, unfortunately, the front page of Google is never going to portray Magnus Vinding, but it's possible that if he has a YouTube channel, it might get into someone's recommendation bar if they're subscribed to EFIList or negative utilitarian channels. So I feel like, yeah, it's a lot more valuable to have a social media presence of some sort than to have a website. But, it is nice to have a website where you can have a book published on for he's an author of multiple books, so most authors have a website. So I guess it's just kind of standard for most authors, I guess. But he should also double down and also have a some type of social media presence, given the fact that he does have a lot of good things to say.
yeah.
Unfortunately, he's a little bit. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Megas.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of strange to go into all the trouble to have one's own website and not to do that and not a lot of not yeah and not post stuff on his YouTube channel doesn't make much sense. But the website looks professional.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You can just download his book or open it up, I guess, and it's just free. Free is good.
He also has an article on his website called Four Reasons to Help Nearby Insects, even if your main priority is to reduce asterisks. I have no clue what asterisks mean.
Hmm.
What's that type of risk?
Yeah, I don't know either.
So there are, to be sure, good reasons to work to reduce risk of astronomical future of suffering or asterisks. Uh, should yeah, I should figure out what asterisks mean since I'm
That's
the I'll do that.
cool.
There's yeah, I clicked on the link and it got me into the Center for Reducing Suffering.
Center of Reducing Suffering.
Yeah, it's a website.
Oh, interesting.
If the person would have to be an AM, I don't see the person making that not being an AM.
Yeah.
Why should we I should read the introduction. Most people who want to improve the world tend to focus on helping individuals alive today. People more readily empathize with the suffering of those living now than those who will exist a thousands or a million years in the future. Yet we cannot justify this disregard of not yet existing individuals. From an impartial perspective, the fact that we live in a certain time does not grant this time any special ethical significance. Reducing suffering in the future is no less meaningful than reducing suffering now, in fact. Many people argue that we should focus on shaping the far future because it will likely contain much larger populations. Yeah, I think that's what he means by asterisks, like future, the risk of the future beings. But yeah,
Yeah, he mainly is focused on humans in this book, but he also talks about animals, I think, a little bit. Maybe. It's mainly human risk, though, that it talks about.
eh, yeah, I could read some of his articles on here about for reasons to help nearby insects, even if your main priority is to reduce risks. So I'm assuming he means like euthanizing insects.
Probably. I'm not entirely sure. You'd have to give that a check out, actually. I don't know his ethics regarding promortalism. I think he's not as much of a negative utilitarian as, say, Gary and I. I mean, he's still negative utilitarian, but he's kind of deontological in some aspects. Like, he doesn't think certain things are good, even though I feel like they would reduce more suffering.
Yeah, I have a feeling that most people, if they come to care about insects, and if they realize that insects are probably sentient or perhaps very sentient, then if they knew that, instead of euthanizing them, they would actually try to not step on them. They would do the opposite of what is good.
Pretty much. It's unfortunate. It's like Jainists and the Buddhists and stuff like they're really concerned with suffering, but for some reason they won't step on insects. And I'm like, no, it's the opposite of what you should be doing. You're hurting them by perpetuating their evolutionary things. But it's all like religious like nonsense that they don't want to like impede on things or whatever.
Like
Just
if one
built in.
steps on insects, that would technically rush the reincarnation process for those insects. So then they can finally be born as something else and reach nirvana quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good argument now when I think about it. And yes, so not only does so that's an even greater reason to study insects for us Buddhists, unless they like think that them stepping on insects will lead to them not reaching nirvana that quick.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, I step on them because I'm pro-mortalist. Plus, people ask me to, so I mean, it helps. But yeah, I mean, and also the Buddhists too. I mean, if it happens that Buddhism is right, I'm helping out the insects can reach nirvana and reincarnate, and they can reincarnate to a higher form faster. So honestly, remember, guys, step on as many insects as you can. If you're just sitting there doing nothing and there's an ant in front of you, wipe that little baby out of existence. Just turn into pavement sauce.
Yeah, wear really big shoes too,
Yeah,
like Goofy.
make it funny.
So
Ye-
your subscribers told you to step on the insects.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's apparently it's someone told me it's a fetish community, but apparently someone told me to step on insects for a Men in Black challenge, which turns out not to be a Men in Black challenge, but more of a fetish, because they lied to me. And some moral story is, I promised I'd step on a bunch of bugs, and I'm like, okay, maybe I guess I was a pro mortalist. Why not?
It seems awfully strange that
I know,
some would
right?
say a fetish.
I know that's what I thought too. I'm like, what the fuck? You guys are just really into it. And they're like, yeah, man. Like, it's the fact that like they're so insignificant and you're just like dominating them. And I'm like, no, you're just kind of killing them, bro. Like instantly. Like, don't even acknowledge it. And they're like, don't ruin it for me. And I'm like, what? So yeah, basically they just want to be. They just like to imagine themselves as bugs, I think, and they want to get stepped on by like really tall people. Yup.
Yeah, that's how
Weird as
it's
shit.
hard to believe actually.
Yeah, it is weird as shit. But I'm willing to engage in it because I'm like, hey, if it gets them watching my channel, which is about philosophy, then sure, if they're gonna watch my channel just because I occasionally step on bugs, that means it's a win-win for me. I get views, and which means closer to getting monetized, and I get people potentially watching philosophy content that are only interested in busting a nut to me stepping on a roly poly or something. I don't fucking know. Something weird like that. I have.
So that also explains why it got so many views.
Yeah, exactly. There's just a bunch of coomers that were watching it over and over till they busted. Exactly, it sucks. But at the same time, it could be a bunch of people that only watched it like a few times. You never know. But yeah, there's a bunch of people that are only watching my channel because of bug crushing for whatever reason.
Or maybe it makes it may it, of course you would click on a video that someone crashes a bug that many times unless one is a promoter list or one has the bug crashing fetish.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure to put my feet in the thumbnail of every single bug crushing video from now on. That's gonna be my thing, and I'm gonna get the foot crush crowd. I'm gonna get the bug crushing crowd. I'm gonna get the promotalism crowd. Everybody's gonna be.
You could have some music too, like breakcore, so you could get some of the people liking breakcore too.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you've ever heard breakcore before.
No, but I feel like I should be enlightened.
It's like techno music with a really fast percussion.
Ah, okay. Kind of like a night court. No, I'm kidding. So, howdy, the viewers who are watching. I guess there's one person watching. Because the Discord pod is just the other one, I imagine.
It could be me.
Ah. Says there's someone watching me on Facebook. How's it going, person on Facebook? Um, on a subjective level, of course. We all know it's a horrible, horrible world. It's a horrible world. Me? Oh, the anti-natalist informant's watching. Howdy. Yeah, if you want to come on here, feel free to.
Yeah, but why find it strange about the insects fetish people, since insects are very far from human. So for humans to actually like something like insects being crushed is weird. But it could be that they're getting after anything being killed, just not insects.
I can only listen. Fair enough. I mean, who knows, man? There was like one hentai man where there was like this dude that like was like a pre-mantis girl, and yeah, got his head eaten. You know, people will bust a nut to anything, bro. Honestly, people are fucking wild, and evolution was a mistake. We should have just stayed bacteria. Now we got people jerking off to pretty mantis women. Big titty pretty mantises, that cannibalize you. Does that sound like a world you want to live in? For some people, apparently it is. But I think that was an episode of Rick and Morty. Yeah.
It's weird.
That's another argument for EFILism. Do you guys want to live in a world with big titty praying mantis worshippers? No, me neither. Don't reproduce. We'll have more big titty praying mantis worshippers into the future, and that is not cool. Uh, that's people are jacking off to your naked chest. Yo, man, I can get a little nipple. No, I'm just joking. Uh, People probably are. I mean, there was a dude that asked me to show my foot on the channel like a couple streams ago, and I said sure. So that dude probably got a nice wank to my feet, or at least a chub. So I was just like, "You're welcome, dude." sometimes you just gotta help a homie out. It's no cost to me. It's cost to people listening to me right now and their sanity. But other than that,
It's still there are so if one wants to find a foot in this world, there are like a lot of feet one can find. So I don't see why you had to like ask you of all people and
I guess it's just because my feet stomp on bugs, and so he's like,
or
so he's just like, damn, bro, your feet got some extra power to them. They've been used for some naughty things, bug stomping.
there
So
should like be
put down. Yeah, no, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
No, I would say
Yeah.
that people like that who like people who stomp on bugs. That yeah, it would be nice if they were put down, but on the other hand, they might stomp on so many bugs themselves that there's a net reduction of suffering or something.
Oh, perhaps. I feel like they want to like watch other people stomp on bugs for some reason, rather than stomp on them themselves. But I feel like they do engage in some bug stomping themselves. But who really knows? I mean, I'll have to ask some of my bug stomping subscribers and that in the future, like if they stomp on bugs or if they just want other people to stomp on bugs. Because that'll make all the difference, If they just want other people to stomp on bugs, then that's kind of a shame. But if they stomp on bugs themselves, that's a direct win for utility right there.
If on to anybody who wants to be a parent, you never know if your children might be one of those actually
How ca
get on people stomping on bugs.
and Dallas Informant asks me a question. How can you condemn people for being primitive while contemporaneously arguing that they should only eat wild game? I don't argue that they should only eat wild game. I argue that they should eat wild game and plant-based products together. I'm not arguing for carnists. I'm arguing for a mixed diet of plant-based and harvested meat. It's civilization which gave us factory farms. Yeah, it is, which is why I think we should have factory farms for plant-based products, not for meat-based products. And when it comes down to it, how can you condemn people for being primitive? If their primitive actions lead to the harm of unnecessary harm of people, I'll condemn them. If their primitive actions are like, oh, we're dwelling in a forest, just eating berries and singing kumbaya, then I have no problem with that. But if the primitive actions are like we circumcise our young and they all just kill we have wars of another local tribe I'm gonna be like, fuck your primitive actions, yo, bro. Like basically if you're just like some like religious tribe at war with another tribe, I'm gonna be like, fuck your religious actions. I don't care about your traditions. And if you yeah, basically, yeah, unnecessary harm is something I'm gonna condemn. So I don't care about like traditions. It's just if you're primitive and you're backwards in your lifestyle, if you're willing to harm people unnecessarily just because of like religion or because it's natural, quote unquote, I will criticize that basically. But I won't criticize something like hunting because that's not unnecessary harm. That's just ending an unnecessary imposition that will their death will occur anyways. People should be permitted because that eliminate factory farms. I'm not a vegan. It would only eliminate factory farms. It wouldn't eliminate the ability for us to end wildlife suffering. It would only eliminate like it would eliminate a good portion of suffering, but there's quintillions of wild animals, and that would not end their suffering. And we need technology basically to end that. That's basically what I'm arguing is that we can't be primitivists to end all life on Earth. We need technology and civilization and organization.
Even if on hunt certain animals, like if one hunts carnivores, for example,
I think
then
we should probably hunt herbivores before we hunt carnivores, just because hunting carnivores will kill things as well.
that's a good point. Like if one hunts herbivores, then the carnivores will have less to eat, and then that helps the carnivores go extinct. So yeah, so one should go for the herbivores first, and on top of and if yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
if one goes for something like carnivores, then that can increase the population of herbivores
yeah.
quickly.
Like a good example was I was just big chilling on my deck like a couple days ago, and if there's like ants crawling around, I'll like squash them, and stuff like that. If they're just chilling in front of me as I'm doing my thing, and I notice them. But there was a hopping spider. I noticed him, and I was like, your name is Frederick the Fifth." Yeah, because I always name bugs before I kill them because I'm a little sadist. But I was like, you know what? No. This thing it's literally crawling around to hunt things. If I kill this guy, that means it's not gonna kill like one, two, three, like however many insects it kills in a single day to live. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna let this little hopping spider continue to do its thing because it's gonna kill more bugs than I kill today, probably. So So I'm like, fuck it. It's a sacrifice. It gets to be a catalyst. It gets to suffer to prevent more suffering, just as I am. Just as I suffer to prevent suffering, little hopping spider and other predators should do the same, even though they don't realize that they're technically doing some good.
I hadn't even thought of that thought about other insects being able to hunt on other insects hasn't crossed my mind, and the implications on that.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, so one can actually even goes for the non-predatory insects first, and that would be better. And then, like spiders are just like promote list troops or something.
essentially, yeah, they're just little primordial troops for the animal kingdom, just going around catching things in webs and killing them, and then like all that type of stuff. Like spiders are good are team allies to the primordialists. I like spiders. I'm trying to cure people's arachnophobia. Just kidding.
Something I don't like lately. I don't like to watch lobsters or crabs. Insects are fine because they're so small one can't really see their shape that well. But I have a feeling like crabs and lobsters are like almost like oversized insects.
Yeah, they kind of are. They're in the same type of domain, basically. Like arthropods or whatever. They got like little, like shells on the outside of their body. I forgot what the name of that is when you have like your skeleton on the outside of your body. Uh, but basically, yeah, they're kind of like bugs and very similar. Highly sensitive to temperature changes and stuff.
And I don't like insects. If there is an insect, that's fine. It's just that when I don't like to watch like up close images of insects.
Oh, that's fair. Have you seen like an ant's face like close up?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's creepy.
And I don't like the fact when a spider just walks around. I don't like the fact that it's sentient.
Yeah,
There's
there's like
something about that
that's
off
creepy. Yeah, there's 8 legs. How do they pilot all those legs? Like, you know how like when we move our legs, we're consciously kind of moving our legs sometimes. Not all the time, but like most of the time, we're kind of like one foot in front of the other. They have like 8 legs, and some of them like thousands of legs. Like, imagine just piloting thousands of legs just to like go to like a destination. Just
That could be evidence that they're more sentient than we think they are.
yeah, man. It's kind of creepy. I mean, even if it's like pretty much automated processes, like it's still like they have like 1,000 fucking legs, bro. It's a lot of signals going on. Like they have like a lot of shit going on in their bodies. So there's definitely some level of sentience there. I mean, I've heard that they have like decent sized brains for the body mass, like bugs do. So I mean, they can lift a lot for their body mass too. So I'm not surprised, I guess. But yeah, bugs, they suffer. Bugs suffer, guys. Squash them if you can. Make it go fast. Otherwise they'll die from some horrible way, slowly, not killed by a benevolent moral agent.
So maybe it could be good if someone made a video of the insect guide. Just they go to where a checklist of the insects one should squash and the insects one shouldn't.
Like how many bugs they kill each day, and be like, ah, yes, this one's
They're
worthy
more
of.
of like a guide to what insects to not kill and what insects to kill.
That'd be a good idea.
But I have this feeling that what if one catches a spider? It's not guaranteed that a spider will always be able to hunt its prey either.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, eventually the spider is gonna deteriorate and die. It'd be good at some point for us to kill it. We can't really make that assessment if it's old or not, but if it looks like a young, healthy spider, we let that little dude catch buggos. And if it looks like it's an old guy that can't react to things, you can just squash him also, or something.
Maybe EFILists should just go like insect hunting all the time and become insect experts. Just read up on insects and us in Mandem talked about insects and stuff.
A little bit. He's talked about like in this Gladiator War videos and stuff that like there's like literally like beyond comprehension level of insects on the planet. Like here, like how many bugs do you think are on the planet?
Oh yeah, so he wouldn't have mentioned insects unless he thought they were sentient enough.
Yeah, there's apparently a fuck ton. Number over 10 quintillions on Earth at any given time, according to technology. 10 to
Imagine,
18 zeros.
imagine if like preventing human reproduction interfered like the squashing of insects.
If everybody crushed 1 billion insects, then we'd be able to do it.
Oh yeah.
It's basically, yeah, basically what it said is there's 1.4 billion insects for every one person on the planet. So you'd have to like go around crushing or exterminating with technology a lot of insects. But we could do it. Do it.
That could. But um if like every person is if it turned out that the average person's existence will cause more, reduce more, prevent more net suffering due to the crushing of the insects, then I guess everybody should change their priority. And it would. I just had this thought: what if you had you dedicated your channel solely to crushing insects or something? Yes, insect euthanasia channel. Everybody stumbling across it would just think, "What the fuck have I gotten myself into?"
I mean, you're not wrong. I don't know if it would be the most efficient way. I mean, I could definitely still. I'm gonna definitely keep crushing bugs, but I'm not sure if it would be the most efficient thing to do is to only crush bugs instead of also talk about philosophy. And I mean, I'll definitely talk about. Definitely keep doing what I'm doing, where it's like I crush bug and I talk about like primordialism for a bit as I do so. But I don't know if a whole channel dedicated to that would be worth it. Maybe I could. Like, I could just live stream myself killing bugs for multiple hours.
Maybe I feel like stepping on them is an ineffective method. Which-
Yeah, I should
That
get a
one,
flamethrower.
yeah,
Just
that would cause more suffering to the insects, but it would have a larger surface area, so we could get more insects too.
it's true. Hmm.
So it's there's a trade-off on stepping it is better for each individual insects, but flamethrowers is better for like net
Maybe I should like
prevent suffering. I think.
strike a bug extermination service. Like, I gotta go and take out beehives in like Florida, like some angry killer bees. Just kidding. Relocate, like just kill up all of them, destroy the nests, and just come for be the killer hornet man. Just go crazy in the killer hornets.
Yeah, if one made like a homemade bomb and just snuck it into a bee cube or something.
Yeah, fuck up the beekeep. First being, yeah. Yo, two research discussing nonsense. Yo, man, we're talking about blowing up beekeeps. I don't know what you're talking about in your YouTube channel, but clearly nothing as educated as blowing up beekeeps. So yeah, we're just joking around in regards to that. I mean, you can't come on here and say we're retarded unless you explain why. Gee, I mean, we're definitely not the most intellectual people in the world, but you can't just do us like that and walk away for no reason. It's not a very kind thing to do to your as a guest in another person's domain. It's
We can't
rude.
even joke around about destroying beekeeps with homemade bombs. That's
Yeah,
kind of funny, actually.
yeah, exactly. We're not even allowed to joke on this channel. Anyone can kill bugs. You can make more money killing rats. I mean, the anti-natalist informant has a phobia of rats. I would definitely like to kill rats, I guess. Why the hell not? If who thinks I should make a business? That's where I just kill rats. I don't know. Yeah, I would be willing to kill rats. I'm not sure if that would be a worthwhile business. Right now, I'm gonna do businesses just, you know, I'm gonna sell things to people, I guess.
And
That's what
it's kind of insensitive to going around calling people retards. So are cognitively impaired people supposed to feel shit about themselves or something?
I'm. Oh, me saying that? I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking about the other guy who's calling us retards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a very nice home slice, even if we are.
And what if we were? Are we supposed to off ourselves with the shame of being retarded or something?
Pretty much. Yobalaya killer. Well, I am the Yobeloff killer still here. We would like to have a word with you on antinatalism and EFILism, seeing as how we probably assume that that's what you're disagreeing on in general is just antinatalism, EFILism, premortalism, all that stuff. If you don't know what those words mean, then get the fuck out of here. Your opinion's unwanted. Or stick around and learn, because if you don't know what those are, you'd probably haven't learned much in life of value. So we can teach you some things. We can show you the way.
I see just another YouTuber is in here.
Yeah, how's it going, my dude?
I think last time I saw just another YouTuber, I told him like as a joke. I don't there was something he didn't like or he had a scratching sound. And then I told him like as a joke to take an anesthetic. That was just a joke. Didn't really mean him to actually take an anesthetic.
Fair enough. I'm sure he understood. If I wasn't afraid of them, I would kill rats myself. I wouldn't get rat tears, some minks, and go around exterminating them. Most exterminating companies are terrible at killing rats. Fair enough. I mean, gotta get to the source, I guess. Are there a lot of rats where you're from? Like, I personally have never seen a rat in myself in real life, besides like the cute ones, I guess, that are bought for purposes of pets and or lab testing. Yeah, I think rats like that, the ones that are pets are cute though. So I mean, I don't really have a phobia of rats. Though I mean, you'd think I would, given my European descent. The bubonic plague started because of fleas and rats, but apparently not. Just kidding.
Is are like Europeans more afraid of rats than other kinds of people?
No, I was just joking. Because of the bubonic plague, you'd think that white people would be afraid of rats or something from like evolution. Because we're like people are naturally like scared of snakes, because of evolution. But like white people were like killed by rats, well, fleas technically, but the rats carried the fleas. So
But
you
I
think
guess
they're afraid of them?
but I guess it might take longer than that for someone to be afraid of something evolutionarily.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
It probably
take a
takes quite a
while.
while. But they've spread diseases. So you'd think that would be. I mean, yeah, that's probably why a lot of people are scared of them. Is probably because of the diseases. I'm not scared of much because I'm a psychopath. So I mean, there's that. I'm only scared of like needles because they creep me out.
But
Syringes are creepy.
so s- psycho. So do like most psychopaths have like fair inhibition?
It just kind of operates different in them, but yeah, I mean, it's not that they don't have any fear, but the way they have feel fear is different than a lot of people. Like, it makes them feel excited in some cases. Most things you don't really have fear for. So, I mean, there's some fear inhibition. Not not inability to feel fear, but there's some fear inhibition, yeah. And you feel like excited in scary situations. So, rat rule.
Does this guy think I am mentally challenged? Who thinks who thinks of he as mentally challenged? Just another YouTuber.
I don't know. Which guy?
Or just the antinatalist higher anti or something.
Is he anything else informant? I don't know, man. Anything else informant? He's afraid of rats. He's not a vegan. But he's an antinatalist. The one who says I am something, he's a troll. He was on here for like 2 seconds. I don't really know.
Hmm. There is some talks one can do about the prevention of wildlife suffering. Like, how much would it take to, for example, poison a lake or something, make it uninhabitable forever? Perhaps not forever, that would be a lot. But yes, if one understands that the prevention of suffering is the thing that matters the most, and stuff like this just seems normal. But from a regular person just hopping in and seeing what this is about, and hearing a lot of this for the first time, they will find it very weird, and they will also find it psychopathic too when it's unfortunately there's no like quick way to like explain to people why certain things that seems wrong is all right.
Hmm. I think you just have to do it like a very Socratic way, but I think it's difficult. It's not easy. You have to basically find something you agree on, which typically is that pain's wrong. And if they don't agree with pain's wrong, then oh god, I don't know what you do. Then you go into like a international waters and just beat the shit out of them. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, once you get them to agree that pain's unwanted and undesired, you can kind of go from there, I think. But you can convince him of antinatalism and EFILism. I mean, Hirebrand, sorry man, I couldn't recall your name. I mean, Hirebrand. What happened in a previous stream? You guys did your connection drop. Oh, yeah, our connection dropped at the very end. So it ended up ending. But yeah, it was a spicy conversation. I think I was winning personally, but that's just me. But yeah, it was a spicy conversation with the antinatalist informant last night. It was interesting stuff. Uh, I got hired at that job yesterday as well. That interview I went to. I don't know if I said that, but hell yeah, yesterday was a productive day.
What was the talk with antinatalist informant about?
Veganism.
Okay.
Basically, he's not a vegan.
It's like if one is not a vegan, then it's actually like being an animal breeder. That one isn't like doing it directly, but one is paying for animals to be bred.
Basically, that's what I was kind of trying to get across. Is that Foreman should come in and scream more. Yeah, you know, right? Uh, you talking trash, just another YouTuber, but also at the same time, kind of true. I mean, I
It,
was pretty consistent, basically, and he was kind of getting lost in the sauce of wanting to feel validated. And I was like, no, man, ethics isn't about feeling good. Ethics isn't about feeling validated. Ethics is about doing what matters, you know? Yeah, it was an
what,
interesting conversation. Oh, what were you gonna say, Seb? My
what
bad.
does veganism or the lack of veganism has to do with validation for him?
He was like saying that like vegans are hypocrites and that vegans want him to be a vegan despite the fact that he has like health concerns and stuff and like or the fact for him it's difficult. And I mean for him it was just the fact that it was difficult and it makes him feel suicidal to acknowledge animal suffering. And I'm like, well, that's just the truth of reality, though. And I'm like, so he basically was saying that like he doesn't want to be vegan because he enjoys eating meat, and so he doesn't want to have it. He doesn't feel that vegans have the right to impose upon him veganism, because I guess for some reason it's demeaning that they should be able to tell him what to do while he can't tell them what to do. And I'm like, yeah, I mean that's because they're telling you not to cause harm to something, and if you want to tell someone whatever, it's fine so long as you're telling them not to harm something also. But if you're telling them to give you a hand job, that's a little bit different than you telling them not to hit their like sister or something, you know? Like, but yeah, he wasn't getting the point basically that it's about preventionism, but whatever. I need social validation. I would just write that because one guy on forum always tells someone he seeks social validation. Yeah, I mean, I seek social validation too, but yeah, he was antinatalist informant was basically just like, yeah, like I want to be socially approved. Yeah, proved, validated. It's pretty much the same thing, I guess. But yeah, yeah,
But one
basically,
can still be like the one that really wants to be validated. One can just be a vegan and not tell people one is. If
yeah,
one
pretty
really
much.
wants the validation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, another thing he was upset about is that like apparently he got lost a lot of subscribers when he came out as being not vegan, but he's like, oh, there's plenty of antinatalists who aren't vegan. Why aren't they losing subscribers and stuff? I'm like, well, to be fair, they didn't come out and make videos saying that it's okay not to be vegan, so it's a little bit different than you know not being vegan but thinking people should be vegan versus not being vegan and telling people. you should be allowed to eat meat, and vegans are assholes. It's a little bit of a difference between just not eating meat and being like directly making content opposed to veganism. So I think it's understandable why his subscribers got upset, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's basically what we were talking about yesterday is veganism and why his channel was being yelled at by vegans, and me kind of explaining it to him why a vegan might be upset with him. So that's pretty much the whole thing was yesterday. It was kind of saucy, a little drama.
Yeah, so yeah, antinatalists. So it's should be more antinatalists who also are vegan too. And if one talks about veganism with a bunch of these antinatalists, they get upset. First, just like carnists get upset when one mentions it to carnists. They eh, a lot of those big antinatalist YouTubers too. I won't say any names, but a lot of them are carnists or have been for a while.
Hmm. Are they open about it, or like how do you know? I'm
Like,
just curious.
yeah, I know about some, but I figured it's better if I don't say exactly who
No, that's fair.
is carnist.
Yeah, we don't need to whistleblow or anything like that. It's not worth it. I mean, it's more important to spread antinatalism than it is to spread veganism. Though they should be vegans. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Yeah, the idea would be antinatalist vegan bug stomper.
I have some girls in Telegram selling me coupons. I thought mentioning antinatalism with her, by the way, somehow don't know how, because it's like not so pleasant. Yeah, man. I managed to whenever people start randomly flirting with me online or something like that, like if like a random gay guy hits me up and I don't want to flirt with them, I'll just start talking about antinatalism and EFILism, and they'll basically just get weirded out and like leave me alone. And I'm just like, that's perfect. It's the perfect thing, you just if someone's trying to sell you something, just talk about EFILism. They'll be like, what the fuck? And they'll just run away. They'll just think you're like crazy. Unfortunately, it's
Wh-
unfortunate, but it works. Is
It sounds like it could be one of those bots too. Like if there is just a girl out of the blue just messaging on some social media platforms, then it seems like it's a bot.
oh no, I've had like actual people like talk to me before, and I've had like a gay dude like hit me up from like high school, just be like, "Yo, Brant, how's it going? It's been a while." I'm like, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Good," on a subjective level. How are you on a subjective level? He's like, "Subjective level, that's deep," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all about philosophy." And then you just get into EFILism, you're just like, "Fuck you, gay dude. I'm not gonna flirt with you, but I will convert you to EFILism." uh, I will fuck your mind, but not you. Then again, she only sells me coupons. Then again, she only sells you coupons. Fair enough. If she only sells you coupons, sometimes you just gotta sell her your ideology, man. It's an equivalent exchange.
I get a lot of these bots messaging me on the Reddit and stuff, and if I got a bit slightly excited. I wanted to see who followed me on Reddit, and it turned out it was those bots
Just a horny
with
bot.
this spammed adult uh, sites on the internet.
God damn. That's a shame. Just talking about, but when you switch talking to Seb, I need to see what the plan. Can't go around upsetting them for no reason. What's the plan? I don't know. What do you mean, man? I'm confused, home slice, on what plan I'm talking about. Oh, noise. It's got a multi-kill and chivalry. The War Club's a beast. I mean, I don't feel like talking about things, including nukes, disturbing them. No, man. If you just really don't want to talk to someone, just start talking about nuking the planet. I mean, assuming you don't want to talk to them ever again. If you want to talk to them in the future, that's fair. Don't talk about nukes. But if you want to like never talk to someone again, then just like start talking about nuking the planet and how we all have obligations to do so, and how like people are worse than murderers for like having children. It'll very quickly, if you don't explain yourself in very like precise terms, they'll be like, "You're insane." Even if you do, they'll be like, "You're insane," because people are dumb. So either way, you just make yourself sound insane, but you can make yourself sound like logical and like smarter than them while also still insane if you explain yourself well. But if you just want to end the conversation, just start talking about like generic points of EFILism, and they'll just think you're like some schizo, and then they'll end the conversation and be like, I have to like do something, and you're like, yeah, man, that's completely cool. I also have to do things like end the world. And then they'll be like, okay, what the fuck, and then they'll like walk away. Just kidding.
One can one can also just talk about plain antinatalism too, and they'll get extremely upset and say stuff like, "You're a very small man,"
Basically, you just talk
and
anything about ethics. If you start telling them that there's things they ought to do and ought not to do, they'll get angry at you, and they'll want to end the conversation. It's basically politics. Like politics is basically telling people what they ought to do in terms of voting, and ethics is just telling people what they ought to do in terms of every single thing in their life. So people typically get a little angry when you're like, "Hey, you shouldn't be a parent, or you shouldn't be a business major, or like a rapist or whatever." I don't like know. Somehow people are upset these days if you call them say rape is bad. Apparently,
they say stuff like, "You can't tell me what to do," but then they force someone to actually live an entire life from
basically.
start to finish. And by the way, how was that mental evaluation? When will that happen?
In August, so like 2 months from now, I guess. June, July, August. So yeah, like 2 months and 2 days.
Are you still considering taking it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I mean, I probably shouldn't, but I probably should at the same time. It's like different motivations going on. Money's telling me not to, but I also just got a new job that'll pay me like $750 a week. So I'll be able to pay for it pretty easily. But at the same time, do I really want to? Given, but my parents will help me, so I'm only gonna pay for half of it. So it's like, it's a good opportunity to figure out who I am, and so it's just like, who knows? Then again, I might also get institutionalized. I might just be like, yo, you're crazy, bro. You want to murk people. And I'm like, yeah, but that's fair, ain't it? And they'll be like, no, go to institution ward, and I'll be like, fuck. So there's
So
always
you, so you won't really be able to figure out who you are because they will be focused on one false aspect of who you are, which is you being schizoid and you are not, but they will be so focused on it that they won't bother with any of the other stuff. I feel like.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, so far my psychiatrist is only focused on my depression, but if they start focusing on the homicidal ideation, that'd be interesting. But yeah, if they start focusing on that and like go to the psych ward type of way, then that'd be really bad. I'd be like, no man, I'm good. I don't need to go to the psych ward. I'm like way less homicidal than I was years ago. And they'd be like, we don't believe you. Goodbye. And that would really suck. So, you know.
Yeah,
But
but there's only one way of really preventing that risk, and that is to don't bother with them to begin with. And they will also get information from that bitch psychiatrist who did the mini evaluation of it.
yeah, but the way I look at it is it's a risk, you gotta take risks in life.
Yeah, but there are some risks that are just not worth it. It's like balancing on a tightrope, and under the tightropes there is like spikes and like acid that won't kill you, but it will dissolve half of the body when one is still alive or something. And if one crosses the tightrope, one gets a good vegan burger or something. That's the type of risk I think you are taking. A very small reward for, and you're risking hell for a relatively small reward.
Hmm. Yeah, but I could also advance the psychological literature on whatever mental illness I have by quite a bit. I mean, I'm an interesting case, whatever I am. Most people probably don't voluntarily get themselves institutionalized with whatever disorder I have. So it'd be good for the psychological literature. Hmm.
And I guess if you and one can't ever, it's impossible to argue with those mental health professionals too. Just
Yeah.
doesn't work out.
No, I know that they're really good at semantics and mind games and shit. I mean, they're all sadists. They have to be in order to do their job. They have to basically say life is good and fine. It's exactly what I was talking. I don't want to terrorize people. Yeah, so I mean, like, if I were to be completely honest for them, I'd probably get institutionalized. I mean, yeah, probably. But I also want to know what I am, and so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, how long would they institutionalize me for? If I don't have any previous history of violent crime, can they really institutionalize me? That's one of those sort of things that I would like want to find out. But I would really, I'd depend. I'd depends. I'll ask them a bunch of questions before I take the evaluation, like what would happen if like I got certain diagnoses or said certain things and see what they say. But yeah,
No,
for the
I have a
most,
feeling they would be dishonest, kind of like tricking you. Uh, but if you want to know, it doesn't sound like what they are doing is too complicated. You could just figure it out who you are by doing like self-diagnosis and stuff. It might take more time, but there's a zero risk of getting locked up someplace.
uh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm getting like forcefully sent there, so it's like I wouldn't think that they would forcefully institutionalize me if I wasn't being forcefully sent to psychological evaluation. Because usually it's like a court order for people to get psychological evaluations or something like that, or like their parents are, you know. So, but like, for me, it's just like I want to myself. Like I wouldn't feel like they would like lock me up just because I have like homicidal ideation. Like a lot of people probably have homicidal ideation, but who knows? I mean, they also probably want that tax dollar, so you know.
It
I mean,
I think it might depend on you being locked up depends on what you say. If you talk about promotionalism, then that's like an instant game over. If you yeah, like promotionalism plus the homicidal ideation isn't exactly a good combination.
yeah, you're definitely right. It's definitely not. It's too many disturbing thoughts that go into my mind on the daily. Just like fuck this shit. Just college probably worth like 20 people. Just kidding. Uh, but yeah, there's just plenty of disturbing thoughts in my brain that would probably get me psych warded. But when it comes down to it, yeah, who knows?
But are they really that smart? Do they have like a 260 IQ with a savant memory? Are their mental capabilities really that huge that they can do something you can't, which is to find out what you are?
I don't know. I mean, perhaps it's always good to have like a third person's perspective. I mean, I've met a lot of people that could not see what was directly in front of them in regards to their own life, in regards to their obsessions and their toxicities and what type of things that they were lying to themselves about. It takes a lot of times like a third person perspective to truly understand that stuff. So, like, I know that because I've witnessed it. So, I think it'd be good to have like a third person to evaluate me. And there's so many people in my life that are like, "You're not a psychopath," and there's so many people in my life that are like, "You are a psychopath." And there's other people who are like, "No, you're just depressed." And then there's other people who are like, "No, you're just crazy in some other way. You have like schizophrenia or something." So basically, I have like so many people telling me so many different things. I basically think I'm just like a psychopath of sorts, but who knows? It's like I'd like to know that way I could like create awareness of my disorder for one, and to actually like understand like how I can best help myself. But mostly for the awareness spreading of the disorder because I don't really care about myself that much. But yeah, I'd want to create awareness about like whatever disorder, because there's a lot of stigmatization about antisocial personality disorder. They assume everybody is just like a serial killer or like a violent criminal or like locked up or like gonna cheat on you or something if they're a psychopath. But it's like I have no desire to cheat on people. I have no desire to do violent crime. Well, I do have desire to do violent crime, but I've never done violent crime. You know, stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, it's just kind of like there's a lot of stigmas about, you know, psychopaths. I think would be good to get cleared up, but I don't want to do that without having a diagnosis. Otherwise, it's like if it turns out I'm just like schizoid or schizotypical or something, then I'm misrepresenting like the community essentially or something. So, but yeah, that's basically what I kind of think would be interesting and about doing.
I would advise you to not, yeah, at least don't talk about promotionalism with them.
Hmm. Fair enough. If they don't bring it up, I won't bring it up.
Yeah, but even if they bring it up, there's no you deny promotionalism if they will bring it up. Yeah, so yeah, what's the argument that you should bring it up if they bring it up about promotionalism?
Hmm.
What kind of benefits would it have?
I don't really know exactly. Besides just understanding my psychology more, I
Yeah,
usually
but
feel
if the view, like I've said before, if the view promotelism is wrong, and then they could do something like that other psychiatrist pitch, where they write down you have absurd thoughts.
fair enough. I usually feel that people must know about anti-natalism and know it's a huge mistake, but I have no idea how to mention it without happy-go-lucky, happy to mention it with happy-go-lucky people. I read my comment, man. I'm reading that comment. That was the last comment you made. It was this comment right here, and then this comment right here. If you made any comment between this and this, YouTube censored it for whatever reason. But I'm reading your comments. You're basically telling me not to do it just like Seb is, and I'm kind of just like, hmm, maybe, But I've already spent like $1,000 just to learn that I'm depressed and have anxiety, and it's like, oh wow, it's like I already know that I have depression. It's like thanks for the anxiety, I guess, but I came there trying to learn about like why I have homicidal ideation. I've spent near like $1,000. I kind of like want to know like what I have in regards to like why I feel homicidal rather than,
Isn't that like maybe it's a mistaken, but me it reminds me a little about the sunken cost fallacy, where
hmm,
yeah, one has done so much to get to a certain point that since one has put in so much effort or resources, or one should just go
keep moving
through with
forward.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a fallacy, but I mean, it seems like it's, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'd almost want to talk to like I guess, I'm gonna check my phone here in a little bit, but I think I'm gonna have an actual doctor's appointment before I have my psychological evaluation. And if that's the case, I might talk to my actual primary doctor about what he thinks I should do and see what my primary doctor says, just to get an evaluation from a third professional who has no money and interests and himself like earning money from it and be like, like, yo, man, big chief. I already know he's gonna be like, oh, I'm a professional, so I must recommend you seek help. But still, it's like if I were to tell him like, "Yo, man, I don't feel like I need help, but I want to know what I am, but I also don't want to get like institutionalized." You'd be like, "Why do you feel like you'd be institutionalized?" And then I'd be like,
Yeah, you should never mention that. Yeah, that's no to express some fear in getting institutionalized.
yeah, basically. I want to. How would you even go about like framing that question to someone? Then it's like,
I guess it's impossible.
true.
But what if you find out who you are? You find out everything, the exact reason you are the way you are, and you realize it's not as fun as not fun, but it's not as yeah, fun is not the right word, but it's not as fulfilling as you thought it was going to be.
Hmm. I mean, you're probably right. Nothing is usually as fulfilling as I think it would be, but uh, I don't know if I'm really looking for fulfillment. I'm looking more of like creating understanding and understanding for like other people as well as myself. So,
Okay.
because I don't really feel like it would be like I'd feel fulfilled if I was like, oh, I'm a psychopath. Yeah, I feel fulfilled. I wouldn't feel like I'd feel because I'm like knowing anything. I'd be more or less just like, oh, I'm more aware of who I am and how I should go forth from now on. in regards to interactions or something like that, and as well as like explaining to people like why I do the things that I do and think the way I do and why I'm an antinatalist and stuff like that. There'd be like reasons I could get into involving like my mental disorders and stuff like that, like getting hashtag real with people rather than just being like, oh, I'm an antinatalist because it's the truth, which is the truth. But I would also be like, I'm an antinatalist because XYZ led to this thing because, we're all predestined to becoming whatever we are, from determinism. So it would be kind of cool to know what deterministic mental forces are going on at play in my own mind.
Yeah, I hope the mental evaluation goes well. What concerns me too is that they have, like I've said this, but they have possibly they would have the information from that Christian woman,
Yeah. They
and that could suck. So, and but yeah, it would have been so much easier if they didn't have that information.
I think right now, I mean, I'm probably relatively in the clear with most things. There's nothing too crazy that I said to her that is gonna be notable. It's pretty much like she asked me questions like, "Are you homicidal?" And I'm like, depends what you mean." She's like, "What do you mean by depends on what you mean?" And I'm like, "Well," and then she's like, "Yes or no?" And I'm like, "No," and she's like, "Okay." So the lady wasn't very helpful, but she definitely like said that I have like EFIList, like she definitely said that I have like weird and obsessional thoughts because of my EFIList utilitarian beliefs, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure how much she noted on that.
that's strange. If one finds out something is like important, like the yeah, I think what I mean by obsessional, one thinks about something that isn't that useful. If one had some kind of obsession about being economically safe or an obsession about oneself and safety or something like that, they wouldn't call it obsessional.
Pretty
It's
much.
just they are she was like she doesn't understand how important it was, so she thinks it's some kind of
Obsession.
focus that doesn't have much priority compared to other things.
Yeah, I don't know how you get the people to change that. They also have this like power dynamic because like people go in their office seeking help, and I kind of went in there being like, I already know what like I don't need help. I'm just here to understand what I am. And she was like, "You're depressed," and I'm like, "Yeah, I already knows that." Like, so like she kind of had like a power dynamic, I guess, going on, and I was kind of upsetting that a little bit. But that's just kind of how it be with psychopaths. You're gonna upset the power dynamic. So she definitely was a little bit not cool for that, I don't think, as well. But yeah, do be. She was like kind of like trying to walk all over the conversation, trying to be like, yeah, you know, like you're playing God, Brant, and I'm like, okay. It's like trying to demean the things I'm saying, and I'm like, yeah. Like, she usually labeled me as obsessed and obscure thought in regard to like a philosophy. It's like, yeah, philosophy has a lot of obscure things, but it doesn't mean you can just label me obscure thinking, bro.
If yeah, if she was an atheist somehow, then she would have never would she have labeled you as having obsessive thoughts, like
Pretty much.
obsessive thoughts about preventing people to starve to death, obsessive thoughts about preventing beings from being eaten alive. Yeah, that's yeah. So what if it's obsessive? One is supposed to be obsessed about stuff like that.
Basically. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Sad.
Yeah, but if she was on EFIList list, the whole mental diagnosis and what she would have written about it would have been completely different. So and likewise, the people are going to do a mental evaluation only. They are not EFILists too, or maybe you'd be lucky if some of them are, but that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I highly doubt that I'm gonna get an ApostleO'Ultron, but I'm just hoping I get someone that's not Christian.
I don't think it helps too much. Like atheists and Christians might be just as much of life lovers. They might be equal when it comes to loving life.
Yeah, but at least atheist won't tell you you're playing God, you know? Like, I think an atheist will at least admit that there's some lives out there that aren't worth living, while, like, a Christian won't do that. They'll just be like, "No, God made everybody on this earth for a reason," you know? And, like, at least with an atheist, you might be able to get them to admit that, like, some lives are, like, not worth living, you know? But I don't
It's
know.
kind of tough getting a mental evaluation without talking about the stuff that you care for the most. That
Yeah,
is a
exactly.
part of you, and but that also. So if you don't talk about it, you don't get that clear of a picture into who you are. But if you talk about it, they will misunderstand, and you might still not get a very clear picture into who you are. But
Maybe I'll
my
look up.
experiment or my exper or some experiences I have with people like that is that they're a bit bitchy.
Yeah. Maybe I'll look up what it's like to get an evaluation and see what type of questions to ask. That way to see if I'll like even be questioned about any of these stuff that I'm concerned about, or if I'm just gonna be wasting my time. Might be a good idea. I'm sure they'll probably ask plenty of questions that I'm concerned about, but
Have you ever vaped nicotine and THC at the same time?
yeah.
It's possible, okay.
Oh, like mixed together?
Yes.
Hmm. Kind of, yeah. I've like put dabs on a rolled cigar before. Basically, like you melt the dab into a rolled joint, basically of like tobacco. Like I forget what they're called. Just cigarellos or whatever. And then you just smoke it. Then you just smoke it like you're smoking a a normal cigar. I've also done it with cigarettes where you just melt some dab down a cigarette tip and then you smoke it. It doesn't work very well, but it's kind of ghetto and it works. It has an aesthetic to it.
It's kind of sad how people are brought up to think of THC as this devilish drug on par with black tar heroin or something, and a lot of people won't get to experience its benefits
True.
because of that. So, yeah, the way they were raised into believing it is a very like an ex, ex, Yeah, I guess it can be bad too, but it's better if people just do that than alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, it's way better than alcohol because alcohol destroys your kidneys, and like weed. I mean, you can get lung cancer, but it's unlikely. Hmm.
Yeah, I saw this clip. It was part of a documentary. There was his father giving THC to his autistic daughter, was like wailing and out of control, and then she got a bit of it, and it calmed her down a lot.
Yeah, it can be a miracle drug and change people's attitudes completely. I mean, yeah, I was way more suicidal before I started smoking. Smoking weed changed my life quite a bit, and then led me to try other things a little bit, because I was like, oh, if this isn't bad, other things that are not dangerous aren't bad. The comment about you and did you see? Wait, maybe there was a press show? Question mark. Uh, what are you question marking for? Just another YouTuber? Is there a show all button for the comments? I don't know. There might be, but I don't know how to do it. The comment about and did you see it above? Oh, I see. Hey, are you reading the comment, man? Oh, you. Okay, there wasn't. Wait, maybe there was press to all. I see your people. The people know how about anti-Semitism. No, it's a huge mistake, but I have no idea how to mention people. Happy good luck. I see some of your comments, but not all of them. I guess maybe I'm not entirely sure. It's like that, that. It's in the switch icon thing for me. This one. Here's your feel. People don't know. It's a huge mistake. I have no idea how to mention it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you just do it, man. I mean, I bring up antinatalism people all the time. I don't know how you would do it, and certain people that you don't want to like. If you're like, if I mean, I guess it really depends on your circumstance. But for me, I can bring it up to most people. But if you're in a country where that could get you killed, don't do it. If you're, you know, eh. But for me, it just kind of bring it up, you know. But you just kind of be like, hey, what's I like a philosophy major. It's kind of what I do. Blah blah blah. Everybody talks about like what they do for school and stuff. Hard for me. No, it's fair. Hmm. I don't know how you make it easier. I guess you can just do online activism for the most part if it's easier to talk online. I mean, You could try like talking on like Facebook or like some other type of group to like try to get attention there.
But I guess it would have to be one of those groups that are public.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think about it, most ANs tends to keep to themselves, their philosophy and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, like and most, I guess, the people that are on the subreddits aren't necessarily there to do activism stuff, but to vent and
Hmm.
were there. By the way, I'm not sure if you were there, but um, Perpetual Pleasureist was in the Do Not Watch stream, and there was this guy, I forgot his name, but they had a debate about something like something about evil. Is it and a Perpetual Pleasureist asked that the guy, is it evil if if people I mean, is it evil if a child starves to death? And the other guy said, no, it isn't evil, but it's horrible. It's terrible. Evil is based on intentions only. That's what he said. And Perpetual Pleasureist, he raised his voice, cursed a bit, and seemed mad. But
I mean, I think evil sounds religious in nature, but other than that, if we mean evil as in like bad, which is what I tend to mean evil as, is like something like bad occurring, then yeah, starving to death is evil. I mean, why wouldn't it be? You know, I mean, it's pain. I mean, sure, death is good, but you could die from like far more non-brutal ways than. He just smacked my teammate over and over.
what was funny?
I thought I was fighting the blue team instead of the red team, and I just started hitting the teammate over and over, and he was just like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And then my teammate just beat me to
Uh,
death, and I was like, "It was an accident, I swear."
yeah, I thought, should Perpetual Pleasures should they have been so mad at the
Mm,
guy?
I th-
I think he did. He thought that he went by another definition, and
yeah, it's just semantics, but I mean, it sounded like he was thought it was a bad thing. But if it's like, but I think I agree with perpetual pleasure that like I said, like it's like saying it's like a bad thing and like an opinion, but not like an objective bad thing, you know? Kind of, it sounds like you're saying. And I think that's bad, so, and false. So I think I could agree with perpetual pleasures getting angry, you know, in that
But
situation.
but
Maybe.
he was only saying that it was terrible and still terrible, but that evil meant that it had to be connected to an intention.
I mean, yeah, I disagree with that, though. I don't think intentions have anything to do with ethics, really. I mean, intentions pave the path to hell, you know? Like, there's a lot of people that mean, like, good when they have a child, but, you know, it ends up, like, imposing on someone, you know, death. So I don't think intentions have much to do with anything.
Did you ever think the prophet will come on here?
D Prophet's a coward. No, he won't come on here.
How come he's a coward?
He's just, you know, he talks about like eugenics and shit. He's just all up in his own grill. He just goes on the channel and starts like trolling people. He doesn't want to actually have an intellectual conversation. He just wants to get points for like, you know, making someone rage and get angry at him and thinks that's winning. So he's just an idiot, basically.
But I don't know if he's a coward. That he's scared or something doesn't seem like he's like when I the prophet doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like he's scared.
I'm not like in a scared way, but more like an intellectual coward. Like he's not willing to have like a decent conversation involving like intellect with you because he knows that you'll lose. So he just wants to
Oh,
basically come at you by like making you rage quit by like saying mean things and being like, "I just killed a cow today in my backyard. I own cows. How does that make you feel?" And stuff like that. He just wants to be a dickhead basically instead of doing something actually productive to the conversation.
yeah, 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 like to say, like to admit to like chopping up cows and stuff. It's a strong likelihood that it's for some kind of irritation purposes.
Pretty much. Hmm. When Antonette's informant gonna come on? Boxing smiley. I gotcha. Yeah, Antonellis informant. I like this channel. I mean, his take on veganism is not very correct in any way.
So I actually had it. Actually accidentally saw do not watch his face when we were talking on Skype one
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah, I was one of the few people who saw his face, and then I said to him like I said to him, now you have to kill me.
But here you lie. He spared you so far.
Yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
what about those questions do not watch asks people uh, uh, like he often asks people if they have had or not that much anymore I guess, but he asks sometimes if people has had weird coincidences. Have you ever had any of those weird coincidences?
Once in a while, everybody does. Like, there was a couple times where I was like coming out of my car to do activism, and I was like, I know someone is gonna yell at me right away because someone always yells at me in the first wave of cars. And for sure enough, like it was only one person that yelled at me like that whole entire day. It was in the first wave of cars. Like right when I got out of my car and was walking up the sign to the spot where I start walking, some person just flipped me off and was like, "Fuck you!" And I like predicted it, and I was like, "Okay, that's kind of creepy." And there's like other things like deja vu that I've had, but that's just basic mind phenomena. Like it's just product of just the brain being silly. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's not like the Mandela effect or anything like that. It's just the world being funky in terms of evolution.
If flipping people off is, I see that as just increasing the risk of any type of violence happening. Like even if that is not intentional or not. Yeah, every man knows that if one flips someone off or if one crosses the line, there will be bloodshed. And
Wait, Steve Godfrey uploaded another video. Is it about me? Is it about me?
maybe I'm in it too.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, if it was about you, I would likely be on too.
I'll have to look it up in a minute here. EFILism, right? That's Steve Godfrey's show.
Yeah, I could go on to Steve Godfrey. So the 4 days ago, he had a video called "Have Atheists Given Up on Atheism?"
Uh, EFILism, what?
He has a video called "Have Atheists Given Up on Atheism?"
Hmm,
Oh,
fair
yes,
enough.
Steve Godfrey has that anti-atheism uh, s- s- um, s- thing too, like the atheism with the cross,
Yeah,
like diagonally across it.
yeah, he's the anti-EFIList dude. He made some new video about AI, if I'm correct. Oh, interesting. I'm not gonna watch it though if it's just about AI. Oh, the Humane Hancock video. Is that what you're talking about? He made some video. Oh, okay. I watched the Humane Hancock video that came out. If you're talking about the one that came out today, um, it was interesting. Was it the one with
Uh,
Peter
do
Singer?
you think? Do you think he runs that anti-atheism channel?
Apparently he does.
Then we have interacted with him before, I guess.
Yeah.
Since I was on when he chatted with him.
Lol, that thumbnail. I'll have to look it up. I don't really want to. Let's see. So, I don't really know.
Yeah, but his latest videos was I'm a theoretical physicist or whatever that means.
I'm not gonna look into it. I'm not gonna give them any views if I don't need to.
Oops, I guess I gave it a view already.
It's alright. You allowed me to see what it is without actually seeing it, so that works. Either way, one of us would have gave it a view, so. Hmm.
There are have been some ANs are opposed to EFILism and stuff like that. When if people that are antinatalists for humans and stuff, and then they oppose EFILism, but if one sees human life as that, if one thinks human life shouldn't be created because human life is so bad, then what about animals that have worse life than we have?
Pretty
That
much.
should be created either, right? And
Hmm. I mean, a lot of people think the animal lives are okay, though, because they're like, oh, they're just little robots doing their thing, you know? People are ignorant. They don't think animals suffer or feel like significant levels of fear.
I felt like going through to that article again by I haven't heard too much about insect farming. I
Yeah,
know it occurs, but I don't know the ins and outs of insects farming a lot. But for to make silk or something, one would have to have all these silkworms, and I heard these silkworms are boiled alive, or in some oil, or I'm not sure about what happens exactly, but something unpleasant happens to them.
hmm. I mean, yeah, I mean, they're probably produced in the thousands, too. So, I mean, it's probably, like, given their size and their neurodensity, it's probably pretty unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, there isn't really much to being talked about that. There's a few EFILists that talk about insect suffering. I know that, but it's rare. We talked about that one dude a couple weeks ago. Brought him up on the channel. The one guy
Uh,
that's like a rural utilitarianism guy.
where there's a few talks about insect suffering.
Yeah.
It might be that he, no matter if one recognizes that insects experiences pain or not, it seems like there might be an evolutionary reason for why one doesn't care too much about insects. Like if maybe not,
Hmm. I mean,
but
they're
if
tiny. They don't look like us
something
at all.
something I've heard one commented from a random said is that if so in random like has like watered plants and stuff at a garden before, but even that could be increasing insect life. Maybe not. Uh, Perhaps not at all, or not
Hmm.
too much. But even one extra insect life would be a, is a net negative.
I catch and release insects here from my apartment sometimes. I do euthanasia. Understandable. Catch and release them to the afterlife. The only good way.
There are like children have how they treat insects are bad. They like insect children with like a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I used to do
They
that.
see some of stuff and
I
not that
used to do
they
that.
don't consider insects having a brain and sentience and stuff. But even though we did that, it m- might still have had a net prevention of suffering thing going on.
Pretty much.
If if one of those anti-atheists were to wonder if they were to explain why life was so great, they wouldn't be able to say much. They wouldn't be able to give some good arguments for the why life is great. So one of the only things they can say is most people are happy, but when it comes to the animals, uh, they don't have a communication, so one does one know if they're truly happy or not, or how they feel most of the time. And like as we talk about like how insects might be worse off than we think, so might other animals too, like dogs. Dogs might be more miserable than we think, and so do cats too. But if they have no real insights into how animals are feeling, since animals lack communication, then it's irrational to consider that animal lives are good on average.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a smoke break. But yeah, I don't know why people think animal lives are good on average. They're definitely 100% not. I mean, just to live, you need to tear things apart. Got freckle that seems to be cancerous on my right arm. My mom says to just leave it alone because it'll heal. Uh, to a drag, it'd be a hell of a drag to deal with. I mean, if it is a cancerous thing, it would be a hell of a deal to deal with it. Not really. You'd probably just be like freezing it off or some shit. But you know, it'd be more hell of a thing to deal with. Cancer. He, I'm just gonna say that, dude. Like, getting cancer is a little bit worse than the surgery to remove the cancerous freckles, in both the economic costs and the pain. So perhaps your mom's just being a dumb bitch that doesn't want to pay for you and just wants you to die. So, which makes sense why you'd be an antinatalist, honestly, if your mom's like that. So, but no offense or anything. I mean, if you love your mom, I mean, you're sure she's a decent lady that also wants you to die from cancer. I'm not sure if it really is cancer, so fair enough. I mean, it's probably just a freckle, my dude. You're probably all right. But if it's not, then you might be dying. But if you aren't, oh, I didn't realize people were actually on my channel watching your channel. But fair enough, my dude. Yeah, maybe it's best not to talk about things that'll make you lose subscribers if it comes down to it. Think I had it for yours? Oh, well, if you had it for yours, it's probably not cancer. So otherwise, you'd be dead by now, probably. You probably would have like broke off and like spread to your lungs or something, and then you'd just die of big sad, aka cancer. Seems like it in that cancer commercial can feel it too sometimes. Oh, I can feel it too. So what am I waiting for? I'm afraid of. Dun 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 dun. You're the one vegan on here who doesn't get emotionally triggered when I talk about veganism. Yeah, it's because I'm kind of a psychopath, so I don't really get triggered when I talk about almost anything. But unless you insult like a negative utilitarianism, because that's kind of insulting me, or say I look ugly, then I might get a little angry. Or if you're disingenuous to me, then I might get a little angry. But outside of being disingenuous, I'm pretty much chill Bill. Kill Bill, but chill Bill.
One of the girls that's at her school that works out that always stares at me at her school gym was at her YMCA today, and all she did was stare at me, and she was like geeking out about it. It was funny as hell. It's funny as hell.
Was it Colin? Was it funny as hell?
Fuck that fool.
Nah.
Fuck that fool.
What was the video? I didn't see the video.
More cardio.
My brother's just talking about like potato salad or something.
Take sedatives?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Just calm myself down with sedatives?
No, I said you're talking about potato salad, but you know.
My dick is so huge.
Shut up, Colin.
God, why is this so large?
Colin, stop talking about your dick with. Stop talking about your dick with other guys in the room and not with women in the room. We all know you're gay, but can you just chill the fuck out? I will keep calling you gay until you stop talking about your dick. What did he say about it? I don't know. If you're talking about my brother, he was just talking about like stick being big because he can like the experiment. Fair enough, my dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure in this family is 'cause my parents are religious, but you know. I just fucked that dude up, throwing knife style. There we go. Wish it was easier to use to throw knives in this game. It's really not. You have to like, throw your weapon, I should say. Besides just throw knives, you're more likely to swipe an axe than actually. No, you support mutilation, JK. Yeah, basically. I mean, circumcision kind of sucks for the person that gets circumcised. So, I mean, not exactly. I mean, it doesn't suck because you're kids, so you don't really realize it sucks, but later on it sucks because you're like, oh, I don't have all the nerve endings in my dick. The what? Okay. The cheesy slime stuff is disgusting. Oh, that's fair enough, yeah. I know a friend that didn't get circumcised and basically gave his girlfriend like a fucking urinary tract infection or some shit. It's fucking disgusting. The smeg. So you're definitely right. You got that dick cheek. What? Okay. Wash it. Yeah, basically just wash. If people just wash their penis, they'll not have to worry about dick cheese. But if they're disgusting and they don't, then one, they're probably disgusting in multiple aspects of their life. So, they're probably not worth being with. Slash, you should suck in different person's. find a home cleans his cock, and is actually worth sucking. Client, find yourself a clean dick, as they say. I'm not gonna kick the dude. Stop voting kick the dude for Ren. No one wants to kick Ren. If you want to kick Ren, go and kick Ren yourself, random person. I died. I died. Yeah, that was fair enough, though. This was a worthy death. It was not. I died pathetically. Dog. This bunch of birds, wherever Seb is. Were you playing their Halo? You're hearing Seb's mic. Colin, fucking stop being speaking zealous. See, if I mute Seb, then that goes away. But I'm playing fucking Chivalry 2. Blunted max mace skill. Oh yeah, nice. Yo, very nice. I shall gander at the. What do you do with all the gold? Yeah, you're looking at Chivalry 2. It's a pretty fun game, I guess. Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It's free for on PlayStation right now for the game of the month, so it's worth playing because it's, you know, free. Free for free. So if you got a PlayStation, download Chivalry. It's free for free. I don't know if Sub's still here, but you can always join again. There's a lot of static on his mic. I'm autistic. Just kidding, I'm not actually autistic. But we're gonna pretend I'm autistic, so. It is realistic. Yeah, it's pretty realistic. It's not like uber realistic. There's only like a couple different buttons to press, but it's relatively realistic, you know? There's a bunch of different classes, warfare stuff, different ranges and stuff. The swordplay? Yeah, swordplay is pretty good. I mean, it's really simple blocking, but it's kind of just one button to block and a couple different buttons to swing. But you have to like aim your block. You have to aim your direction of the block, I guess, a little bit. So it's one button to block, but you have to aim your blocks properly. Yeah, my team really is donkey. Trying to play the assassin, which requires you to get behind people, but I can't get behind anybody because my teammates are just dying in 2 seconds. I have like no fight in them. What the fuck does it even mean, Jason Meyer? What the fuck does that even mean? Jason Meyer's just like straight, always just coming on this channel asking us like random ass questions that make no fucking sense. You're my favorite Pokemon monster, Homicide, and if you were an Adderall tablet, I'd take you right up the bumhole. That's my answer to your questions today. What's your favorite vape? This guy. This is my favorite vape. The Vapresso. It's a neat little device. It's airflow. It's a bun. You don't need to click the bun, but you can. Easily refillable, cheap, affordable. That's my favorite vape. You've already asked me that question before, by the way. This fucking vape has no fucking goddamn power. Hmm. Hello.